Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michael. I'm going to be cooking some collard greens today, and we're going to be using for the seasoning some turkey necks. Let's get started cooking these beautiful collard greens. I've got two nice bunches of collard greens here, and you might look at this and think, boy, that's going to make a lot of collard greens, but they're going to cook down, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. So stick with me. Let's get started making these collard greens. Let's get started cooking our turkey necks now, and I've got about 1.5 pounds of these turkey necks here, and these are smoked, and I've got a Dutch oven that I've got heating up. You want something that's going to have deep walls on it, and we're going to be making a turkey stock for this, and we're going to use the stock and the turkey in our collard greens. So I'm going to go ahead and put the turkey necks into my Dutch oven. Once I've got the turkey necks put into the bottom of the Dutch oven, I'm going to start out with 4 cups of water here. You want to put enough water in the pot to cover the turkey necks, and then put about 1 inch over the top of them. So I wound up putting a total of 6 cups of water in my pot. Now that I've got my turkey necks covered in water, I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Now that my water has come up to a boil, I'm going to turn the temperature down on low, medium, low, put the lid on it, and I want to cook these for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. You'll be able to tell when they're done when you can take a fork and you can stick inside the meat there, and then it will come off the bone really easily. If you need to add any water to make sure that they stay covered, then do that while they're cooking. My turkey necks look and smell incredible, and that broth is going to make these collard greens really nice. So now we're going to test them. I want to show you what that looks like. So I've got a fork and my tongs here, and you can just stick it inside that, and you can see the meat is coming off that really easily. That indicates that they are done. Now I'm going to take these tongs and I'm going to take the turkey neck out of the broth, and I'm going to put them into a separate bowl here so they can cool down. Once they cool down, they'll be able to be managed to be able to pull that meat off the bone. So put them in something so they can cool, and then we will work on these later. All right, now that I've got my turkey necks out of the broth, I'm going to take the broth and I'm going to strain that. I've got 2 separate sieves over here on the side, and I'm going to double strain these. I'm going to run the broth through the 2 sieves there, and that will take out anything. You definitely want to make sure you do that in case there's any bones or anything that might have come off while you were cooking your turkey necks. Now that we've got our turkey necks cooked and we've got our broth made, let's start working on our collard greens. Now I've got 2 nice bunches here. I'm going to take those to the sink and give those an initial wash. I did give my cutting board a good wash down here just to make sure I didn't have any dirt on there when I initially showed you all the collard greens. So now I've taken them to the sink and I'm cutting them apart, and you want to make sure you check them, make sure there's not any debris on them. You don't want any bugs on them or anything like that. So we want to give these an initial wash. There's could be a lot of sand and things down in them. You definitely don't want that in your greens. So I will continue washing these until I get these inspected and all cleaned up. All right, I've got all of my greens inspected now and washed, and now we want to take out that heavy stem in the middle of those. I don't like that in mine. It gets really woody, and you can definitely, you don't want that in there. So I've got a salad spinner here also, and I'll be putting the greens in there, and we'll be giving those another series of washes. So this is the first way where you can take out that stem, is you can just peel it away from that stem, and once you get down so far, you can work on the other side and it just snaps right out of there. So this is one way you can do that. Another way you can remove that stem is just take a sharp knife and run that right along both sides of that and cut it just like I'm doing here, and then cut the stem out of it. So that's another way you can take that out as well. And the third way I'll show you is the way that I prefer to do it. Just grab a hold of it, and you can pull the green right off of the stem just like that. That's probably the fastest way you can do that. So however way you want to do it, it's completely up to you. That's usually how I do it here, is just grab a hold of it and pull it right off the stem. Now that I've got the stems removed, I'm going to take about 4 or 5 of the leaves and I'm going to roll them up, and then we'll start cutting our collards. Now that I've got those collard greens rolled up, I'm going to take my knife here and I'm just going to cut these about 1/2 inch all the way down until we cut all of the collard greens that I've got rolled up here. All right, now that I've got that bunch cut, I wanted to see what they look like, little ribbons that I've got cut up here. I'm going to take those and put those into my salad spinner, and we'll get ready to give all of these a wash. I'm going to continue to cut the rest of these collard greens up. I've got all of the collard greens cut up now, and I've got those in a salad spinner, and I'm going to go get some water and fill up this container. All right, now I've got the salad spinner full of water, and I wanted to show you how I want to wash these greens. I'm going to take them and just kind of massage them. You definitely want to make sure that you get these really clean. If there's any more debris on those, they'll fall through the salad spinner there to the bottom. So give them a good massage. I'm going to do this about 3 times. Now that I given my greens a good wash, I've got those sitting to the side there, and I've got my Dutch oven back here, and I've got that heating back up again, and I'm going to take some bacon grease that I've got here. I always save the grease when I cook the bacon. It is really good to use to season other things with, so I've got about a tablespoon here, and I'm going to go ahead and get that melted down. I am going to go ahead and grab about another tablespoon of my bacon grease here and put that into the bottom of that pan. Now I've got my wooden spoon here, and I'm just going to move that around on the bottom of that Dutch oven until I get that evenly coated around. And I have taken a medium-sized onion here, and I have chopped that up, and that's probably about a cup of onion that I'm going to be putting in here. If you don't like as much onion in there, you can definitely cut it back, but I do like the taste that it's going to give these collards. Now I'm going to cook these onions for about 5 to 6 minutes, and they'll become a little translucent and soften up a little bit. The onions have been cooking about 5 minutes now. These look really good, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my garlic. I had 4 cloves of garlic, and I've minced that up, and I'm going to add that now into the onions. You don't want to put them in there any sooner than that, as they do have a tendency to want to try to burn. So we're going to put those in with the onions and cook those for about a minute. And I'm going to take this wooden spoon here and mix that garlic and onion together until those get really nice. You'll be able to tell when they get done. It'll release that aromatics, and you'll be able to smell them. It's been about a minute now, and my garlic smells really nice, and I'm going to take my collard greens now, and I'm going to put those in until I can fill the pot up about halfway. And these will cook down really nicely, so just add them in about half of the pot. Give those a stir around until they cook down, and then we'll be adding some more. Continue adding your greens into the pot there until you get them all added. Now that we've got all of the greens added, we're going to take our turkey stock now, and I'm going to put in a couple of cups to get these started, and just put it in and then give these a good mix around with your spoon. Now I'm going to add in another couple of cups of my turkey broth here, and I just want to bring that up to just below the level of where the greens are on the top, and we'll just give that a good mix around. What I'm doing now is I'm incorporating the onions, garlic, and the chicken broth together with the collards there. So give these a good mix around, and we'll add some more of our turkey broth here in just a second. Now I've got some chicken better than bouillon, and I'm going to measure out about a tablespoon of that and put that into my collards. All right, now I'm going to add this in, and once I get this added in, I'm going to take my spoon and get that mixed in with that turkey stock. This is going to add such great flavor and boost that turkey stock. Now that I've got that mixed together, I'm going to add in another couple of cups of my turkey stock here to completely get my collard greens covered now. And now I'm going to take another tablespoon of my better than bouillon and add that in. Now that I've got that bouillon in, I'm going to take my spoon here and give all of that a good mix around. Now that I've got that all mixed together now, these need to cook for about an hour. I'm going to check on these periodically. I'm going to put the lid on these, and if they need any more of that stock, I've got just a little bit left over there. I can add that in. I'm not going to put any seasoning in it now. I'm going to do that at the very end with that bouillon that I put in there and those turkey necks. It might have a little bit salt in there, so definitely wait until your collards are done, and we can test it then to see if we need to add any more seasoning to it. I'm going to turn these down on low and let these cook. All right, my turkey necks now have cooled down enough that I can go in there and take that meat off of those. You can see how easily that just comes off these bones. So go ahead and take all the meat off of these and discard the bones. All right, I've got all the meat removed off the neck bones now, and you can see there's been quite a bit of meat on those, more than you would think would be on those. So there's the bones in that bowl. We'll discard those, and we'll set all this aside, and we'll check back on our collars now. They've been cooking for about 10 minutes now. Let's check and see what they look like. These are looking really good now, and they're smelling incredible. I'll just give these another stir around, check on the liquid there, and let these continue to cook, and I'll see you back when these are done. It's been an hour now since my collards started cooking. I want to check on those now, and we're going to check to see how tender they are with a taste test. Now I'm going to grab me a few of the leaves here of my collards and give these a try. We're going to check to see if they are tender, and also we're going to check to see if we need to add any more seasonings to them at this point. The collards are really tender, and I know that they're done because these are absolutely delicious. They do need a little bit of salt and pepper, so let's add a little bit of that at this point. This is the point where you want to taste your food, and if you need to add any salt, pepper, or any other seasonings that you'd like to put in them, this is when you want to do it. I love apple cider vinegar in my collard greens, and I'm going to add in about a tablespoon If you don't like apple cider vinegar in your greens, then definitely you don't have to put this in. This is completely optional. Start out with a little bit, see what you like about it. If you want to add a little bit more, you can definitely do that. Also, something else you can add to your collard greens. If you like them sweet, you can put just a little bit of sugar in it. This is when you want to do that at this point also. All right, I'm going to put the lid on these, let these cook a few more minutes, and let that salt and pepper that I put in there integrate into those collards and give it another taste to see if it needs anything else. I did come back and give these another taste, and they are set to go. Now I'm going to take my turkey meat here and I'm going to put that into my collard greens. You can put as much or as little as you want in there. I'm going to put about half of that in there and see where it's at, and give it a good mix around. You can definitely save some of the turkey meat back, and that way you can garnish your plate once you get to your table. Give this recipe a try. I know these collards are going to be one of your favorites, and you can eat these year round. And when the collards are in season, definitely give this one a try. If you like this content, maybe you might consider giving me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And while you're at it, check out one of these other two videos over here on the side. You might find something else you like. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye now.